This case is a perfect example of why there is justified use of force statutes. People should be able to defend themselves from being free of sexual attack, sexual assault, rape, period. The facts as we know it are that at 6 o'clock, Rachel went to meet Jacob Glace, her ex-husband, for the purposes of preventing him to have contact with his son. They needed a place to talk privately. It wasn't a matter that was going to be discussed around strangers. They went about a half mile up the road. He attacked her, attempted to rape her, and she used a pistol to defend herself, shot and killed him. Rachel, was fortunate to have a handgun in that spot because if she hadn't, she would have been dead. Hey, Rach, come on back. I specialize in self-defense cases. And when I met Rachel, I knew right away it was a case that was worthy to take pro bono, meaning that there's no charge. What she was trying to do was to help her kids, and being a parent, that meant a lot to me. Right now, your current charges are deliberate homicide. It's the most serious charge there is. That charge would result in life incarceration.
That's really heavy. Well, I certainly did not go down there intending to kill him that day. I did what I had to do so that I didn't die.
So, Lance, give me the general timeline of what happened in the hours leading up to the moment where she was assaulted.
What we know is Rachel started her day at work, all right? She's getting texts and information from Glace saying that...
That's the ex?
Yes.
Okay.
Ex believes there's a problem with one of the children and he wants to deal with it. She agrees to go to Paradise to meet him. Where he's staying, the lady that owns the house is there. It doesn't allow for them to have a private conversation about the kids. Rachel has a new vehicle. He goes out and inspects it and says, hey, let's go for a drive. She's not uncomfortable. She hasn't had a situation in 10, 15 years where I think there's been any violence. So she doesn't go there thinking something bad's gonna happen.
Oh, okay.
There's a little pullout. They start having an initial conversation. He gets different and then kind of goes in to try to kiss her once. She kind of gives him a push off like, that's not right, it ain't gonna happen type thing. He backed off, kind of apologized, and then started kind of acting strange, pacing around, babbling about how bad his life type thing was. And then at some point in time, he says kind of like words like it, and he just attacks her. She escapes. She feels him grabbing at her pants and then grabs a gun, turns, closes her eyes, pulls the trigger, and then at 7:56, she calls 911.
I hear what you're saying, but every person that I've talked to about this case has the same question. Why has she got a gun with her?
Yeah. So Jamie, today I want to go over the interviews that I conducted of the officers that responded to the incident. So this is the interview of Martin Spring with regards to State of Montana versus Rachel Bellison. Will you state your name for the record?
Martin Dale Spring.
And what is your current occupation?
I'm a detective for the Sanders County Sheriff's Office.
How many homicide cases do you investigate?
9, I think.
Okay. Any of those include multiple gunshot wounds?
Couple.
Anything about the location of the gunshot wounds in this case surprise you?
Yeah. Gunshot to the back of the head.
What was your concern?
Basically, it's like an execution.
So that is a concern to me. I think that we're going to need to explain the proximity of where this all happened, how she fired the shots, how quickly she fired the shots. We're gonna have to do our due diligence to explain that.
All right, Jamie, the second one's gonna be the other detective that responded.
Will you state your name for the record?
Brian Josephson,
So your current position is what?
domestic violence, sexual assault detective.
You were informed early on that she had called law enforcement 911 and reported that she had shot her husband who was trying to rape her. Isn't that true?
Correct.
So you knew right then that there was an issue of justified use of force, correct?
Potentially, yes.
Yes. In your plan, you were going to transport Bellis into First Step, is that fair?
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't know that much about First Step, but maybe tell me, what is the First Step facility?
First Step is set up to do forensic interviews and examinations on victims of assaults, primarily sexual assaults. There are protocols in place to properly collect that evidence, and that's what First Step is there for.
You got the plan, you're gonna go, but you decide not to take her to do what they're trained to do, collect evidence, correct?
Correct.
Why?
I'm not in charge. I'm told what to do.
So who in the hell told you not to take her there?
I decided not to take her there
Okay, why did you not take her there?
because there was not penetration. So I decided not to take her there.
Well, I'm gonna let you take that back. There's no intercourse, but there were sexual assaults.
Allegedly.
And it was in March of 2020 that he had assaulted you.
March 20th, 2020. I got a restraining order. My kids and I moved within a 2-week period, and we've essentially been in hiding.
Prior to the time you got your restraining order, did you ever have concerns?
A lot.
Rachel kind of described this, and I just wanted to see if it was similar. Is like, could you tell, like, a look that he would get, smirk or anything?
Before physical violence or sexual violence, there would be like a malicious grin. I can definitely say he got pleasure in violence.
So, this is what they have filed.
Okay, I need to breathe for a second.
So what it is, it's a motion to dismiss. In 20 plus years of doing this, I think I've only sat with maybe one other person that's gotten a motion to dismiss on a homicide case. But it's without prejudice.
So without prejudice, that's the,
Come back
they
at some
can,
point in time in the future if something arises.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please be seated. All right, thank you, everyone. We're here after the state filed a motion to dismiss this matter without prejudice. The state represented that it was still expecting unspecified forensic tests. The defense filed a qualified opposition requesting the matter be dismissed with prejudice. The court set the matter for oral argument here today. So with that, Mr. McConnell?
Thank you, Your Honor. Both parties agree in this case, Your Honor, that the case should be dismissed. The only question is the characterization, based whether it's with prejudice or without prejudice. The state believes a dismissal without prejudice is in line with the Montana statute, Montana precedent, and relevant jurisprudence in this area. So the bottom line is that there is no statute of limitations for homicide charges. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Counsel?
I would respectfully argue that the state's position that the statute of limitations is indefinite is actually a reason that this case should now be dismissed with prejudice, because the state could come back, some over-anxious prosecutor 20 years from now could decide to pick up this file and prosecute Rachel Bellison. We cannot have that happen. She won't have our pro bono lawyers like Mr. Jasper and I available to defend her. She'll be sitting there essentially undefended.
Thank you, counsel. Mr. Jasper?
Afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
One of the things that trial does is it puts the facts out there. By filing its motion to dismiss, the state tried to make sure that nobody knew a damn thing about this case, is it puts everything on Rachel Bellison, the one person that acted within the law.
Thank you, Mr. Jasper. Based on my review of the file, the testimony, such that it was an argument presented today, the court must consider the constitutional rights of the defendant and the interests of society. The court also finds that there is no substantive outstanding evidence. So with that, this matter is dismissed with prejudice.